Anyway, did you watch Bachelor tonight?
I did. Did you watch it?
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, a little bit.
The drama. Oh my God.
I actually looked at Teresa at one point and said, "Is that what women are like? Is that what it's like?"
Welcome to Onboard For Delivery.
Well, what's been happening this week in the world of Timothy J. Jeffrey?
So for me, I've been doing a bit of B-roll footage. I've been testing my new Lazy Susan. So I've got this Lazy Susan, an electronic one. So you basically spin it around. You put an object on it, and it spins around, and you can just film it from different angles, and the object spins.
Yeah.
And it just looks grand on the screen. So I'll run some B-roll footage now, which I'm pretty proud of. But I've finally got my Lazy Susan. So I've been doing some B-roll footage. And by the way, the elephant in the room. Look at our new setup. What do you think? How good is this?
I was going to say it looks different from usual. You've got the nice fairy lights in the background. Yeah. It's very intimate.
Yeah.
I love the new design. Yeah. And I'm actually in a different location too, if you haven't noticed as well.
I have. I can see.
Like it?
That's a kitchen. I can see. Maybe the camera. I don't know what I'm looking at, but. Yeah, that's a living room setup.
Behind me is the buffet, and it's got the retro record player there, and the Pioneer monitors, and photo frames and flowers, and a bunch of little goodies behind me. It's good.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
I love your logo. I love what you've done with the lighting. It looks fantastic.
Thanks. I've been watching so much Bachelor. I noticed in every background image they've got all these little fairy lights. So I've basically tried to copy the Bachelor, and. That's
you look a bit like The Bachelor.
What I've been doing this week. Been watching way too much. I really should stop watching that show because is it made for men or is it made for women? Like none of my mates.
I think it's. I don't know. I watch it. I love watching it too. I love Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelorette.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what. No spoilers for anyone, but I think like there's. I won't say anything too much, but there's one or two girls on the show. That one girl in particular, and if she gets heartbroken, which looks like she
Bella.
probably will, I didn't want to give the spoiler away, but you just get this feeling, it's a bad feeling. I hope she becomes a bachelorette.
Yeah, I like her too. She seems so much more down to earth than the other girls.
She's so sweet. Like she's sweet.
Yeah,
she developed feelings.
Kind.
She developed feelings, and now she hasn't seen the guy.
Is she the kind of girl that you like to thumb, Tim?
I'll get my thumb right up there in Facebook terms, and I just want to give her the biggest thumb I can give her just to make her feel good right now. So Bella, if you're watching,
to be honest, I've been watching.
We're on your side. We think you're a sweetheart, and you deserve better. You deserve better, Bella.
I think for watching The Bachelor, I think most of those girls need a good thumb. To be honest, if you watch.
All right. Well, anyway, in case you've just joined us, folks, this is a tech podcast. And we're going to today talk about many things in the world of technology, not just Bachelor gossip, which, you know what, we could spend the next hour and a half talking about Bachelor, but I think we'll lose our demographic audience. We looked at our stats during the week, and most of our audience are somewhere between 25 to 35 to 35 to 40 males, which seems to be our friends. We think that's our friends, basically.
I think they're our friends. Yeah, all our friends watching the podcast and listening to it. We might have some new viewers here, maybe some older viewers, but we're also now, Tim, available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which is great. So you can actually listen to us in the car. You can listen to us wherever you are, as well as all around the world. Or you can watch us on YouTube like you are now. Whatever you do, don't subscribe because we don't want to grow. Or do we? If you know what I mean.
Yeah. You know, a man's got to grow. So if you're watching this, or if you're listening to this rather on Spotify or any of the podcast networks, check us out on YouTube and you can see what we look like. And we make fools of ourselves, and some of the jokes make more sense when we look at the camera and try to explain ourselves. So anyway, Paul, what's on the topic? What's on the episode tonight? What topics are we going to cover?
Yeah, well, you know what? I've been playing a hell of a lot of Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It just came out on the 18th of August, so I've been playing a lot of that. And I love flight sims and I love flying games. I love to just sit there and zone out for a bit and just fly around I've been flying around Geelong and Melbourne and where I come from and parts of, different, especially during COVID, we can't fly anywhere. We can't go on holiday. So to get in a plane and fly around is really, really exciting. And I noticed the other day I was playing Flight Sim and I zoomed into where I grew up down in Geelong. And I thought the house looked amazing. The fact that they've got this game that has graphically designed the whole world based on photos, I thought they did a really good job of my childhood home. And I showed one of my kids, and he just scoffed at it like a snob and just went, looks nothing like it. And it made me angry. I was really angry because when I grew up, I mean, we had, you'd remember the computers when we grew up. We had MS-DOS. If anyone doesn't know what that means, that's how old it is. And we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have iPads and things like that. And it made me think about, or reminisce about things, what did we grow up with that is no longer around, or that kids of today, like our kids, just don't understand. And that's sort of what I think we should discuss a little bit about tonight, is what are some things that are nostalgic, tech-related, things that we grew up with that aren't around, that you either wish were around, or things that just make you go, oh, I remember that?
No, I know the kids of today, they don't understand. So, we've become that person, Paul. We've become the dad who says, back in my day. I never thought I'd say that, but back in our day, we didn't have the internet. I was telling my daughter, I said, years ago, when I was your age, not only did we not have the internet, we had no iPads, we had no internet, and not only that, we had a computer, this home computer, but the computer had 16 colours. 16 colours? And she was like, 16? What? And I said, you've got 16.7 million colours now. She just couldn't fathom it. And the kids of today don't understand. They lose the internet for a little bit, and so I don't think they'll understand. Our parents used to say things like, when we were young, we had to walk to school barefoot in the snow.
Yeah, 5 kilometres by ourselves. Yeah.
And now we
Mum
say,
still says that.
Yeah, and now we say, when the internet first came in, we had to phone it up. You had to call up the internet, and you couldn't speak on the phone while the internet was going. You had to choose one or the other. And sometimes if someone gave you a call, it would cut you off the internet.
Yeah, and when you used to use dial-up modems and you used to call up, sometimes it was engaged. There was too many people using the internet, so you couldn't use it. Well, at school, I was in high school, and I think around year 11, you could book on to go to the internet. You have to go to the library, and you had to sign a form. There were like 2 computers. Book a time.
In the library, in open view of everyone, so everyone could see what you're doing. And you had to sign on, and you had to book on for those 2 computers. It was like an encyclopedia. So now they've got the internet on their iPad in their bedroom, and they're trying to do schoolwork. I can't believe how it's changed.
Oh, they click on a link. It doesn't load in 1 second. Oh, what's this? And just be patient. Do you remember growing up? Do you remember Netscape and Navigator? Do you remember that one, Tim?
Absolutely.
So
in fact,
like the old Chrome.
Yeah, I was a pioneer. So any guys in the same age range, you know what I'm talking about. But if you got the home computer, and you learn very soon about internet history, and I took it to an advanced level, Paul. Okay, you know what I used to do? Okay, just between us. This is not recording, is it? So just between us, what I used to do? No,
I haven't pressed record yet. Between you and me.
Okay, I didn't trust clearing the history, and it's pretty obvious. You clear the history, and then your dad goes, "Why is the history cleared again?" And you're automatically guilty. So what I used to do? I used to install a browser, a brand new browser, totally different program. Like if it was Netscape, I'd install Firefox or some other browser. Do the deed, and then can we edit that part out, by the way? You know what I mean? Just do random surfing about stock market or whatever it is, and then I would delete the browser completely from the hard drive, so it's gone. And I'd have to repeat this every single time I use the computer.
Remove the browser.
So I'd delete it. I'd install it. I would look up cars and ways to improve your life and self-development, and then I would delete the browser completely and delete all evidence. So that's what we had to do back in the day. Now they just have to go Control Shift N or whatever it is to do incognito. So much easier these days.
Yeah. That brings back a memory, Tim, that I have of when you were over at your friend Mark's house, and I used to come over there to pick you up with my mum or dad at the time. And whenever I walked into the room when you were on the computer, you were playing with X-Tree Gold, which at the time I thought was a game. What was X-Tree Gold?
No. So you got the story close, but so my friend Mark and I, what we used to do, we'd be at his we were little kids, we were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sort of age, and we'd be playing in the street, playing cricket, football in the street. We'd come inside, and his dad would be on the computer, and his dad was always mucking around with X-Tree Gold. Dad. And we're like, what? For those that don't know what X-Tree Gold is, it was basically a program where you just copy files. It's like Explorer or File, whatever it is, Finder on the Mac. You just copy files around, create folders, just organize your computer. And he was on it every day, all the time. And we're thinking, what is it with X-Tree Gold? Is it a game? Like, why does he always use X-Tree Gold? We couldn't figure it out. And then now...
What was he doing? Was he uninstalling a web browser, Tim? Is that what you're saying?
I think he was alt-tabbing. I think that's what he was doing, if you know what I mean. So
alt-tabbing. Things
have come a long way. We've come a full circle when it comes to technology. But actually, Paul, I was thinking about cameras. We love talking about cameras, and I was using, like right now, we're using state-of-the-art. We're using the Sony A6400, and I've got the Canon 70D going on over here. So we've got DSLRs, we've got mirrorless cameras, they've got interchangeable lenses. About 15 years ago, I went on a holiday to America with a few mates. So Ryan, Mark, and Mick. And I took a little handycam with me. I had that little, the traditional sort of little handycam.
Yeah.
And it had tapes, so I had to put tapes in it. So this is in 2005. You had to put
like cassette tapes,
little mini DV, little cassette tapes. So the technology's come a long way. But I remember we went to America and Canada, and I'd film like here's Niagara Falls. How good's that? There's a girl in a tight dress. So half the footage was this girl in tight dresses. But I can't believe we've come from that. We've come from mini DV tapes to having multiple cameras on sliders and doing live crosses from around the globe. So it's come a long way, hasn't it?
Well, if you've got a camera now, and so you go outside, take some photos, Tim, and you've taken some photos of some, whatever it is, the kids or the trees or the landscapes. What's your workflow with getting those printed? What would you do nowadays? How would you print them or view them?
How would you view them, or how would you print them?
Well, how would you get them from your camera, either to on a computer or to print them in a hard copy or whatever? What would you do?
I do it the old school way. I plug my camera in via USB and just copy the files over that way. But you can do it directly via Wi-Fi.
Sure.
But I just find it quicker.
So, a lot of the kids today wouldn't realise that back in the day, you actually had to take your camera, disposable camera, or your camera with film in it, to the chemist to get it developed. Do you remember those days? You go to speak to George down at Amcal at the chemist and get your photos developed. And the problem is that he would see all your naughty photos. So you've got to be careful what photos you take with it, because he's going to see it. Then you've got to go there and you look, my photos, are they ready to be picked up? Wait, there's one missing. Where's that one? And you look behind the wall, and they've got it hanging on the wall with a little pin in there. Do you remember going to the chemist to get your photos developed? Do you remember that?
I do, and that was always the fear. I mean, this episode, folks, has turned... We've got a bit of a theme going in this episode. But, I do remember that. And, I mean, things have changed. Do you remember going to the video store? So...
Video Easy. Blockbuster Video.
Yeah. So, I remember... My friend Mark, once again, we used to ride our bike to the video store, and we'd be looking in the different sections. And I remember one day, we'd be pretty young, and the guy that owned the store, he noticed which section we were looking at, if you know what I mean. And he chased us. He chased us out the shop. Why, you blooming kids? And he's chasing us out the shop, and so the kids of today just go on Google and they can look up whatever they want. So it's absolutely crazy.
I used to love Blockbuster Video, and used to line up, and you had to get there early to make sure you know, on a Friday night, to make sure you get one of the new release movies. They only had like 20 copies of it, and they're always sold out by the time you got there, so you had to buy something else. And there's always weekly videos and things like that. It was great. But my one of my fondest memories, or not really a fond memory, I wouldn't say, but one thing that's come a long way for me is that, you know, video games and things like that, or music, you've got Spotify. You've got unlimited music whenever you want it from a click of a button. Back in my day when I grew up, I had to put a cassette tape in a recorder, wait for the radio to play that song. I'll be waiting hours for one song. And then the stupid DJ wouldn't shut up during the song. You had to wait for him to be quiet before you can press record, listen to the song, then press stop on a cassette tape. Would you believe it? And now you can just Google, YouTube, any song you want, and it's there at the touch of a button.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I do remember the mixtape days where you had to record off the radio, and now you've got everything you want on Spotify. In fact, if you look up Onboard For Delivery, we are on Spotify, folks, in case you didn't notice. And in fact, I was doing that in the car the other day. I was driving to the supermarket because we're in stage 3 lockdown, and I just said, play Onboard For Delivery podcast with Timothy D. Jeffrey and Paul Samuel James, and it was it played on the radio. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, you can't imagine a time when you can tell your car to play your own podcast. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah.
Well, we've got in our house, we've got LED lights around the home that are connected to the Wi-Fi, and we can talk to them as well. So we'll say, hey Alexa, turn light on, or turn this on, or turn that on. And you walk into a room and you spend half an hour telling Google to turn the lights on when you could just press the switch. So, you know, although technology has come a long way, it doesn't always mean it's in a better way. I spend a lot of my days just talking to Google, trying to get the light to turn on when I could just press the button myself.
So, Paul, last week, you had a crack at me, or maybe it was the week before, you had a crack at me for using the microphone that I was using. And I discovered last week I didn't like the sound of my voice through the NT1. I thought it just sounded a bit weak. I think this one gives me a lot more balls. And
if you know what I mean.
I noticed this week, Paul, you were asking about this particular microphone. You actually paid this microphone out on air a couple of weeks ago. This week you were asking me about it. And do you deny, or do you admit, you were looking up Shure SM7B microphones during the week?
Look,
the acting.
To be honest, Tim, I've deleted the browser, so I can't check the history to make sure, to confirm or deny that. Yes, I was looking it up, but not for the same reasons that you were. I was looking it up just to see how much ridiculous amount of money you spent on a mic that I thought, I looked it up. Yes. It does sound good.
So
I
Paul,
will admit. It is ugly.
It's big.
But it sounds good.
It's not ugly. I disagree. This microphone is not ugly. It's big. It's black. You know what I mean? And it is just got balls. It's got balls. It adds balls to your voice. You know, if you could see my vocal cords, there'd be two balls dangling about. Just dangling about. It's adding balls to me. So I've got balls in my throat, if you know what I mean. So this microphone is just adding the balls to the voice.
I have got one question, Tim, semi-related to balls, and I would like to know why a floppy disk is hard and a hard disk is floppy.
I've never thought about. Were you saving that up just to see my reaction? So I know what you're thinking, folks. You're thinking we plan this and we script the podcast, like it's obviously scripted. But I just get the feeling Paul's been saving up these dad jokes just to see my reaction. So, you know what? I've never realized that. It's so obvious. And I've never realized, but that is the case. Yeah, hard drives are hard, actually. Huh. There you go. There you go. So, Paul, I heard that, I know we're in lockdown at the moment. You're not allowed to have visitors. But I believe you've got an uncle, Uncle Guido, I think his name is. And he...
Oh, no, this is not going to make it to air.
For caregiving reasons, he's at your place right now. So strictly, he's unwell or whatever. It's caregiving reasons, so he has to be at the house. So, Uncle Guido, is Uncle Guido around? Is he still up or is he in bed?
I think he's in bed. I might be able to get him. I might be able to go and get him if you like, but
I haven't seen Uncle Guido. I haven't seen Uncle Guido for literally probably 10 years. So I'm excited to see him. I don't know if everyone listening at home, if you're excited to see Uncle Guido, give us a thumb. So thumb us as much as you can down below. I'm excited to see this Uncle Guido character. So can you just quickly wake him up if he is in bed?
Yeah, look,
and we'll ask him what he thinks of technology and cameras at the moment.
Yeah, okay. I'll go see if he's awake.
All right. I'll just wait here and I'll entertain. Okay, so just while Paul's going to find Uncle Guido, there he goes. Yeah. So basically, folks, once again, we are on Spotify. What are you doing? Go get Uncle Guido. Well, it looks like folks, he might already be back with the magic of editing. I can see that we've got Uncle Guido. Now, as I said, I haven't spoken to Uncle Guido for about 10 years. So I'm really glad to have him back on the podcast.
Yeah, mate, what's up?
Oh, g'day, Uncle Guido. What's I'm pretty good. How are you? What have you been up to the last 10 years?
Yeah, mate. Well, I tell you what, mate, I've been up to a lot, mate. Mate, the women, mate, they can't get enough of me, mate. It's a tough life being a Greek Adonis, mate, but somebody's got to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you seeing anyone at the moment? Like, are you...
Mate, I'm seeing people, mate. I'm seeing lots of people, mate. You watch The Bachelor? Mate, The Bachelor is my life, mate. I got women there left, right, and centre, mate. I got Bella, got Tiffany, got Stephanie, mate. Mate, I got to fend them off, mate. I got to give them a Turkish heel spinning snap kick, mate. They just get in my face, mate, you know? Mate, I'm so popular with the ladies, but you know what, mate? That's my life, mate.
Yeah, I didn't realise you were The Bachelor. I thought The Bachelor was Lockie, the guy from Survivor. So
mate, he's not Bachelor, mate. He's he's look, I don't even know what to do to describe him, mate. He's not a bachelor, mate. I'm a bachelor, mate. I'm the bachelor, the best there was, mate. The best there is, mate. The best there ever will be. You know what I'm saying?
So okay. If you just tuned in, this is a tech podcast, and we talk about cameras, microphones,
mate. It's not a tech podcast, mate. It's not tech podcast, mate. Do not talk over me, my friend, mate. It's my time now, mate. Mate, not your time, my time, mate. Can I ask you, mate? But do you believe in God?
Ooh,
mate, I tell you what, mate. I take my shirt off, mate. You believe in God. You know what I'm saying?
So Uncle Guido.
Yeah, mate.
So I heard.
Sorry, mate. I will stop cutting you off, mate. Mate, I know you're trying to help, mate, and you're my best mate in this world, mate. Mate, go ahead. What would you like to know, mate?
So what have you been doing, or what have you got any plans this week to do anything with cameras or technology, microphones or headphones?
Yeah, mate. Well, look, my first thing, mate, is for my camera. Mate, women, mate, they want to take photos of me, mate. You know, I stand there, mate. They take photos all day for their own private use, if you know what I mean, mate. Mate, so that's what I'm gonna do, mate. Maybe some video, but I'm not too sure. But mate, just basically being, mate, hot and good looking. You know what I mean, mate?
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're quite the catch. Like, what type of attributes do you look for in a woman?
Mate, well, first of all, mate, I got to make sure she's a woman, you know what I mean? That's the first and foremost, mate. Mate, if she's a woman, mate, she treat me well, mate, she must cook, she must clean, but most of all, mate, she must do whatever she wants because she's a woman, you know what I mean? But mainly, I want a woman who's going to look at me all day, but who am I kidding, mate? They do that anyway, you know what I mean?
Oh, Uncle Guido, you are a character. I don't know, I think it's been great. It's been great seeing you after all this time.
Yeah, mate.
And I think the folks at home have enjoyed enjoyed getting to know you as well. So maybe...
Yeah, mate. Well, look, I got behind the camera, mate. There's 15 girls, mate, looking at me, mate. They want me right now, mate. I got to go. You're not telling me I got to go, mate. I got to go because the women need me, mate. Okay.
All right. No worries, folks. Well, anyway, let's find Uncle Paul. Let's find Paul back, and so if you can go and grab Paul, and we can get on with this podcast.
Yeah, mate. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so Uncle Guido's, thank you very much. He's going to look for Paul. And so if you're just tuning in now, we've been talking about absolute crap tonight. We're just going off the rails. And you know what? I think it was last week, Paul did an impression of who was that mob character again? Who was that person?
Robert
welcome
De Niro.
back, Paul. We just see you. Yeah, you're back here. Robert De Niro, that's the one.
Yeah, no, I'm back. Robert De Niro, Tim.
I could not stop laughing at that Robert De Niro impression. I need to see that again. Can you... I need to see that impression again. Can you do it?
I will. I can't do it, but I will do it, if you know what I mean. Let's see if we go. Okay. Here we go. That's all you're getting.
Yeah, so
I need to work on that a little bit.
If you're listening to the podcast and you didn't get the pleasure of seeing that, Paul just looked like an idiot, basically. So, awesome. All right, so what else is going on in the world of technology? I know you've been working on macro photography the last couple of days. You've been struggling at the world of macro photography in the last couple of days. You have been posting photos of really ugly spiders on the internet, asking for feedback from the internet forums about how to do macro photography in the last couple of days.
That is true. That is true. Macro photography is very difficult. Very, very difficult. The focus, you've got such a bee's knee amount of focus space that the slightest movement will put you out of focus and will render the video or the photo not sharp. So I am posting videos or photos of cute little spiders online, looking for feedback. But it's just from what I'm seeing, it's just I've got to put in the hours. The man hours is what you've got to put into photography. That's really where I'm at the moment, is just trying to put in the effort to get better every time. But macro photography is very difficult. It's unlike any other photography that I've ever done before.
So what's unique about macro photography? Because I haven't done it myself. I just basically set the aperture, the shutter speed, the ISO, and just do a basic point and shoot type affair. What's different about macro photography?
So macro photography, compared to normal or standard photography, is that it allows you to focus much closer than what you would normally be able to focus. So if you're dealing with, say, taking a photo of a bird, for example, with a normal lens, with a macro photography, you can zoom right into the individual molecules of the feathers and get super sharp photos of things like that. So basically, it allows you to take really good photos of very, very small objects and makes them look bigger, which is the main reason I bought one, if you know what I mean. But, so if you look at, say, an ant, it's very hard to take a photo of an ant or focus on an ant or even know what an ant looks like. But with a macro lens, you can make that ant look the size of a horse on a photo, and you can see every little detail. So I love that part of photography, but it's very difficult. I think you're more into the videos at the moment than photos, is that right?
Yeah, I'm more into the videos, but I can totally understand your point of view, Paul, needing to take photos of very, very, very small things and making them look bigger than they are.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So I can totally understand why you would need to do that. But I don't think there's any macro camera that can zoom in large enough to increase the size of the bee's knee, as you put it, that you need to take a photo of. True. Yeah, so alrighty. So we've covered cameras tonight. We've covered annoying things kids have said. We've covered how to delete your internet search history. Is there anything else we need to cover tonight, Paul?
Yeah, well, look, there is one little teeny little thing I just wanted to bring up with you, because last week In fact, 2 weeks ago, you said you were done. And you were done shopping. And then I brought it up on the next episode that in fact you weren't done, and that you had to buy a few other things, such as a new monitor and a Lazy Susan and all these sort of things. Then you said that you were done. And I believed you. And then you're sending me messages today through Facebook telling me that DigiDirect have a sale and started sending me links to things that we should buy. Such as a camera we've already got that happens to be a really good price, and some lenses that we haven't got yet that we probably should get one day. And I feel like you're not really done, but you say that you're done. So Tim, are you actually done? Are you done?
I'm not done. I'm not done, Paul. I wish I was done. I cannot. It's a disease. I can't help it. We can't stop buying things. Microphones, I'm done. As I said, big black balls. That's all you need. Headphones, done. I love these. These are the Beyerdynamics. They look like this nice looking velour ear cups that just soften.
That you said last week look like toilet paper.
They're like pillows. They're like the pillows of a bachelorette, just cupping your ears. They're beautiful. So I've got the velour ear cups. So I'm done with headphones. Okay. Audio interfaces, done. The Motu M2, brilliant. It's just awesome.
Great.
It just sounds great. Cameras. Lighting, not done. Not done. Lighting, we've discovered how important lighting is. You sort of think, okay, you get a good camera and everything looks good, but it doesn't. Everything looks bad. You need to have good lighting. So
That's so true.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I've got the light dome here, which is fantastic. Got the light above my head. I've got the fairy lights. I need more of those things. I need to be more like Bachelor. Got lights everywhere. So I need more lights and cameras. Oh man, I'm really happy with the camera I've got, but there is room in the future. Not yet, but I'm waiting for that perfect camera, and it just doesn't exist. The perfect camera that has unlimited recording times. It has great autofocus.
Yeah.
It has, let's say, full frame. I really want to go to the full frame, if you know what I mean. And what else do we need? We need 10-bit. We need 10-bit color. That's
10-bit color.
10-bit color is basically 1 billion colors compared to 16.7 million colors and much more.
Or 16 when you grow up.
Yeah, 16 colors is what I had as a kid. Yeah. So, much more different shades in the middle, and you can color grade it a lot better. So definitely need 10-bit. We need high frame rates, 60 frames a second, 120 frames a second. Where does it stop? So we need all of that. We need it to be light, and we need it to be cheap. That's what we need. We need all those factors. And
you're top of the range for the lowest price.
Exactly. So cameras, I'm done for the moment. Although I wouldn't mind a 56mm Sigma lens. Love the 56 mils. So, yeah, what about you, Paul? Are you done or are you not done?
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. I've got everything that I need, everything that I want. There's nothing more that I'm looking at. I'm completely 100% done. Except for I've got this thing I've been looking at for astrophotography, which helps track the stars, which I'm looking at, and also an extra handle for my Ronin SC gimbal. But apart from those two things, I'm done.
All right. Well,
and obviously I need one of those automatic, those automatic shutter buttons so I can take photos on the tripod, so that I don't press a button and it obviously
I don't believe
makes
you, Paul.
it
I'm
more
going to refer
blurry
back
if you
to this
press the button
footage
because of the camera shakes.
I'm going to refer back to this footage.
And also, there's these little macro things you can get, which allow you to use a tripod to be able to move the camera around where you need it for macro photos. So apart from that, I'm done. I'm done. And maybe the Shure mic, but we'll deal with that on a case-by-case scenario.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that day. If Paul buys a Shure mic, then I will do an episode wearing a bra. I'm pretty
sure I won't, if you know what I mean.
Okay, well that's good. I think the viewers will be happy with that deal. So anyway, Paul, I think that's been a pretty good episode tonight. Change. It's been a pretty disjointed episode.
Change.
Okay, it's I was waiting for the change. So anyway, next week we might have a special guest. We've got a few special guests, but people have been writing in. We have been inundated with messages from people wanting to be the guest on this show. So we might have a special guest. Maybe next week, maybe not. Maybe the week after. But there'll be a special guest. So yeah, is there anything else you want to say before we finish up for today, Paul?
No, we're good, and stay tuned for the next episode. As we said earlier, we are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as podbean.com.
Without any further ado, that's all for us from Onboard for Delivery. So, good night.